The word LARPing is something I've seen a lot used on social media, and while it's definitely strayed far away from its original meaning, the core values and general ideas stay the same. Pretending to be something you're not. Similar to a bunch of other words that have gotten used on parts of the internet, once it was officially deemed TikTok slang. Brand new LARP method
How
just
to
dropped.
LARP being
We need
smarter
to
than you
normalize
really are.
LARPing. It's because of this that now you're able to see just truly how many people are faking their life. I mean, that's the whole thing about social media. Literally, none of this shit is real. The duck is the same size as the car. But come on, man. It gets to a point. People are LARPing drinking water. Really? When I see somebody drinking Fiji water in public, the last thing in my head is, wow, this guy's so successful. He must make $1 million a year. No, I just think you're a buffoon who overpaid for a bottle of water. If I were to do one of those blind taste tests of Fiji water and Dasani, I'll be able to tell the difference because Dasani tastes like ass. Believe me when I tell you that there was once a time where LARPing didn't mean buying a pet... renting a penthouse in Miami for 12 hours and posting pictures of Ferraris that you got off Pinterest. It's because of this that nobody knows the original meaning of LARP. So let's do a quick history lesson. LARP is originally an abbreviation for live action roleplay, which consists of a bunch of grown men pretending they're medieval warriors fighting in the middle of an enchanted elf forest. I can't even hate. This is awesome. In today's day and age, LARPing is a bunch of dorks pretending to be something they're not, but instead, they're acting like some sort of financial guru who lives in a Miami penthouse, wipes his with Benjamin Bluebills, and drives a fancy car. Bro, cut the bullshit. We all know that is a rental. Because I've done the same thing before. Why do you think that 90% of the time they never show them actually driving this fancy Lamborghini? Bro, because they're probably LARPing so hard they can't even afford to buy damage insurance. Ironically, it seems that the guys pretending they're in an enchanted forest in cardboard armor are significantly more successful than the guys who are pretending to live this lifestyle because they are about that life. They would buy something super expensive. These swords that they are role-playing with are pricey as man. The average tag is like $250. I think the best part is they're not doing it to impress anybody else or show off how cool they are. They're doing it simply for the love of the game because they like being in a community like this. You know who's not doing it for the love of the game? Some guy who went on YouTube on his TV, searched up 4K flight footage, filmed it, and posted it on Instagram with Rick Ross in the background. Guarantee he's doing it for validation from other dudes. They're trying to sell you the idea of some super extravagant lifestyle that they live. Whole time, something far more important of theirs is getting sold. Their dignity and their personal data. Personal data is being exposed everywhere online. I thought I was invincible to this. That is until I found out my social security number is out there literally for anybody to see. I don't want that. The only way this was even able to happen in the first place is because of one small sentence buried within like 50 pages of useless terms and conditions that we all just click I agree to. Every time you sign up for something, you're feeding more and more information to data brokers who just make billions of doubloons selling your info to scammers, spammers, and stalkers. Most services do remove your data after it's already out there, but it doesn't mean much if you create new vulnerabilities every time you sign up for something, which is exactly why I use Cloaked to avoid this. Cloaked finds where your personal data is being sold and promptly removes it. Their app lets you generate unlimited burner emails, usernames, and phone numbers anytime you sign up for something. These are completely untraceable to you, meaning that data brokers just bought information that's worth nothing. How the turntables, data broker. Cloaked not only monitors the dark web for your information, but it also has a built-in VPN and password manager. Use cloaked.com/Tokemon and enter your phone number to get a free security scan and find out if your social security number is for sale right now. If you're ready to take it back, use cloaked.com/Tokemon to get 30% off any plan. Thank you so much to Cloaked for sponsoring this video. If you ever find yourself lost on how you can possibly become a LARPer and you don't really know where to start, don't worry, there are countless interviews on TikTok, Instagram of people showing you how to professionally LARP being rich. One of the main things that they point to is buying fake stuff from China. Listen, man, controversial. I could never buy reps. I think it's ridiculous. Nah, I'm playing. I mean, if you buy fake clothes or fake shoes or anything, I can't even sit here and say that I blame you. If you like the design of something, but you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on, for example, a sweatshirt that's just gonna break down into a million pieces after a certain amount of washes, I totally understand why you'd rather just buy a fake version that costs a fraction of the price and looks pretty much identical. Listen, man, I myself have bought a real pair of designer shoes. It was a ridiculous amount of money that I'd rather not repeat. But you want to know what happened? I also bought a fake pair of the exact same shoes, but just in a different color. And they looked and felt identical. You know how much of an idiot I felt like? So, you know, I totally understand people who don't want to drop a hideous, disgusting, and disturbing amount of money on something that they can just buy fake. However, there was a tutorial showing how you can professionally LARP, and one of the things that they showed was buying fake car keys.
There was deadass like hundreds of cars to choose from, but me personally, I got the Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, Maybach, and the Ferrari.
Are we ass, dude? In the tutorial, this guy says, oh man, it attracts all the ladies.
Just say like I'm walking by her, I do this method right here, feel me, I pick it up, give it a couple shakes, and yeah man, this is basically just a chick magnet.
Which, I mean, like, yeah, I guess, but how the f are you going to explain to them when your car keys lead to a 2001 Hyundai Sonata instead of a $200,000 McLaren? You think people are just gonna sit there and go, huh, he must just be driving his beater car right now, I guess. No, they're gonna immediately know that you're a fraud. Listen, man, I guess I understand LARPing being rich to a certain extent. Like, maybe you want to prove to your parents or your family or your friends that you're more successful than you are. But I refuse to believe that there's any amount of fulfillment when you go back to your one-bedroom apartment that you can barely afford. But hey, at least you're getting comments saying, great job, man. Why don't you just actually do the thing? I'm not saying that every one of these people posting these videos are broke. They're not. Because a lot of them are actually making decent money, and that's by selling courses on how to be rich. But the only way that they have all this money is because they're selling you these courses. You're the one making them rich if you buy these courses. I thought this type of course selling stuff completely died off, you know, with the rest of the red pill, Andrew Tate sort of mentality, but apparently not. This is still a thing that's going really well for people online. All of the videos that you see of people showing off their super lavish luxury lifestyle are 100% getting all the money from selling you courses. There's no secret sauce or mystery source of income that you're gonna learn from wasting your money on these courses. The second that you click I accept purchase, you're funding the exact thing that you're trying to learn. You might as well just keep all the money for yourself and pee all over it, because then it'll still be worth more than whatever secret information they're trying to sell you. Moving away from people pretending to be rich, which is like one side of LARPing, there's a completely other one of people who pretend to be a fan of something that in reality they don't know about. For example, Logan Paul. Why is he all of a sudden pretending to be some sort of connoisseur about One Piece? Listen, I don't know really anything about One Piece. The extent of my One Piece knowledge is that you could get married, have a wife and kids, grow old together, and even then, if you were watching One Piece the whole time, you'll probably only be like halfway done. That show was like 2,000 episodes. But if I don't know anything, Logan Paul knows it a million times less. I think the reality of the situation is he just has so much you money that he decided to spend however hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars it cost to buy the first issue of it. Even iShowSpeed was able to pick up on the overwhelming scent of bullshit. There's still one age-old question that has to be answered though, and that's why? What do these people stand to gain from pretending? And I definitely think validation is part of it, but what everyone seems to have just gotten lost in their noodle is the most potent substance to ever affect humans: internet attention. There's a wide variety of people on the internet who seem to fake some sort of disability, like a group of only girls where there was a trend a few years ago to pretend that they had Down syndrome as a means of promotion. I'm like genuinely curious on what the your family says after finding out that you do something like this. Like, what do you say when somebody at like a family dinner asks you how your work is going? What do you just confidently puff out your chest and say, pretending I have Down syndrome for 40-year-old men so they their to me, it's going pretty well. LARPing is something that's just synonymous with the internet at this point. Again, like I mentioned earlier, although it's far from its original meaning of people fighting with foam swords in the forest, it's taken on a new sort of definition. But that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Spotify. I post all my videos on there. And until then, I will see you guys next week. I hope. I don't know, my schedule has been pretty sporadic lately, but I'm trying to get back on weekly. Anyways, I will see you guys next week. Bye.